sandwich. We're going to start off with some chicken breast, and this chicken breast is soaking in 1 jar of pickle juice and 1/4 cup of jalapeno juice. And you just want to soak your chicken for about 2 hours or overnight is best. Here I have about 2 cups of flour, and I'm also going to be using 1.5 cups of buttermilk. And if you don't have buttermilk, you can just use whole milk and add about 1 teaspoon of white vinegar to it. And for the seasoning, I'm just going to be using 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1/2 tablespoon of salt, 1/2 tablespoon of cayenne pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of chicken bouillon, 1/2 tablespoon of paprika, 1 and 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. And we're also going to need 1 egg. And I'm just going to add my egg into my buttermilk. And I'm just going to mix it together until it's well mixed and the egg is well combined with the milk. Once I'm done mixing my milk and egg together, I'm just going to add my 1.5 teaspoons of sugar into my flour mixture. And the sugar is going to balance everything out, and it just goes well with your chicken sandwich, like with the coating of your chicken sandwich, and it's just going to make it taste so delicious. But I'm just going to mix my seasonings together, making sure everything is well incorporated. But I'm just going to sprinkle in my seasoning, and I ended up using all of the seasonings. So I'm just going to add it into my flour. I'm going to give it a mix. Making sure it's well incorporated into the flour. And I'm just going to add the remaining seasoning into my flour. And I'm just going to mix it. And I'm just making sure the seasoning and the flour is well combined together. I'm going to set the flour to the side, and now it's time to batter our chicken. So I'm just going to remove my chicken breast from the pickle juice and the jalapeno juice. And I'm going to add it into my egg and milk mixture first. And I'm going to add the chicken into my flour and seasoning mixture. And I'm going to make sure that the chicken is coated with this flour all around. I'm just going to flip it over to the other side. I'm just going to add flour to the top of the chicken and just make sure that it's well coated and well battered. I'm just going to shake off the remaining coating or the excess flour, and I'm just going to set it on a plate. But if you guys coat your chicken and the flour, you coat all of your chicken and you let it sit there and you add the other chicken in, you might need more flour on your chicken because it's going to absorb the moisture. And yeah, you might want to sprinkle some flour, lightly sprinkle flour over your chicken breast, because yeah, if you coat all of your chicken at the same time and just place it on your platter, and while you're frying the other ones, it can absorb the moisture, and it causes you to like need more flour because the coating comes off. But yeah, if that happens, make sure you guys sprinkle flour onto your chicken if the chicken is absorbing the moisture. And yeah, but I'm just going to continue with the rest of my chicken breast. I'm just doing the same thing over. I'm just going to add the chicken into the egg mixture and then add it into the flour mixture, and making sure that it's well coated with the flour and seasoning. I'm just going to flip it on the other side and make sure that it has flour on that side also. Like I said, you guys want your batter to be well seasoned because the flavor is in the batter, or the flour. The flavor is in the flour, so yeah, that's very important for a delicious, flavorful chicken sandwich, for it to be well seasoned. But I'm just going to double dip my chicken breast. I'm going to add it into the egg mixture and then the flour mixture again, and then set it to the side until it's ready to fry. And you guys can double dip your chicken in the egg mixture and then the flour mixture if you want to, but that's optional. But if you guys want crispy chicken sandwich, like how mine is going to look, then I do suggest that you guys do that. But I'm just going to continue to do this to the rest of my chicken breast. Making sure it's well coated with the flour. And as I'm doing this, I already have my oil heating up. And you guys make sure your oil is not on high, because you don't want to cook your chicken too fast and it'll burn, and you'll have uncooked, burnt chicken. And you just want to not to fry it so fast, and also your oil will be burnt. So make sure you guys' eye is on medium heat. And yeah, just make sure it's not on high, make sure it's not smoking and it doesn't burn. Then your chicken doesn't cook right. But yeah. But I'm just going to get ready to place my chicken into my oil. And I did time my chicken. I cooked my this first batch of chicken breast for 10 minutes. It depends on the size of your chicken breast. And yeah, just make sure your chicken is done. A way that you can make sure it's done is by like after it comes out the oil, you could like cut in the middle a little bit, and then look. And if your chicken is white, then it's done. But if you see pink, then your chicken is not done. But I'm just going to let it fry for about a few seconds, or like 30 seconds, and then I'm going to flip the chicken. And you want to constantly flip your chicken, making sure it doesn't burn, because if you just let your chicken sit right there, then it's going to burn. So you want to continuously flip your chicken every now and then, making sure it's not burning on that one spot that is frying, that is the chicken breast is laying down. But I'm just going to flip it again. And as you see, the chicken is getting nice and crispy, golden brown. But this is how my chicken looked. And at this point, I'm going to take it out because the chicken is ready. And the chicken is so crispy and golden brown. But I'm just going to remove the second piece of chicken. I'm going to add the remaining chicken. And as you see, the chicken is absorbing the moisture, and you just have to sprinkle a little bit of flour over your chicken, as you see me doing here. But yeah, I'm just going to add my chicken to my oil. I'm going to fry it until it's done, making sure to flip it. And I fried these for 11 minutes. I'm just going to flip them to the other side and let it get nice and golden brown. And at this point, they are ready to come out of the oil. So I'm just going to remove my chicken breast and place them onto my pan. But after I fry all of my chicken breast, I'm just going to toast my buns. I'm just going to add some butter to my pan and then take them out once they get golden brown. And I use brioche buns. But after that, this is how all of my chicken looks. I'm just going to place them on a plate and then add cheese to them. And I use provolone cheese, but you guys can use any cheese that you like or cheese that you want to have on your chicken sandwich. You can use mozzarella. But yeah, I use provolone. I'm just going to add it to all of my chicken sandwiches or to all of my chicken breast. I'm just going to place it on the pan, and I'm going to place them in my oven. But my oven isn't on. It was previously on, so my oven is still a little bit hot. So I'm just going to place them in there so they can so the cheese can melt. And this is how they look once they come out. The cheese is fully melted. It looks delicious. But I'm just going to place my buns on my plate, and I'm going to be using some Chick-fil-A sauce. So I'm just going to add that to my buns. And then I'm going to place my delicious golden crispy chicken breast down. I'm also going to place a piece of lettuce down along with 2 tomatoes. And these toppings are optional. If you guys don't like tomatoes, then you don't have to add them. And I'm also going to add some pickles. But I'm just going to top it off with the top bun. And this is how my chicken sandwich came out. It was super delicious and crispy. And who else liked to add sauce to the side of the plate so that they can dip their chicken sandwich in? But I hope you guys like this video and try this recipe. Follow me on everything. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Give me a thumbs up. Adios. I'm going to show you guys how I made my delicious steak, shrimp, chicken, surf and turf fajitas. For the ingredients, we're going to need 1 teaspoon of salt, a half a tablespoon of garlic powder, a half a tablespoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, a half a teaspoon of chili powder, a half a tablespoon of Mexican oregano. And you just want to mix this. If you need more ingredients for your meat, more seasoning for your meat, you can just double this recipe. But I'm just going to add in everything. I'm just going to mix it. And here I have my steak. I'm just going to add some olive oil, and I'm going to just add my seasoning to my meat. And I'm going to add it to my chicken as well. I'm going to add some olive oil, and I'm also going to add my seasoning. Now I'm just going to mix my beef until making sure that all of the seasoning is all over my beef and that every piece has seasoning on it. Here I just added a little bit more seasoning. I'm just going to mix it with my hands and set it to the side. Next, I'm going to mix the chicken. And I'm also going to coat the chicken in the seasoning really well. I'm also going to do the same to my shrimp. I'm just going to add some olive oil, and I'm going to sprinkle over the seasoning. And I'm just going to add some more. And I'm just going to mix it until it's well mixed and the seasoning is covering everything. I'm just going to mix my shrimp. And I'm just going to add the remaining seasonings to my shrimp. Once I'm done, I'm just going to let all of my meat marinate for about 30 minutes. And in my pan, I'm going to heat up some oil. And I'm going to add in my onions. And I'm also going to add in one green bell pepper, 1 red bell pepper, and 1 orange bell pepper. And I'm just going to mix everything. But like I said, if you guys are wanting to double the recipe, you can just add more ingredients, add more of the measurements that I'm giving you guys. I'm just going to mix until it looks like this. You want to have a crunch to your vegetables, so you don't want them to be all the way like cooked to the point where they just don't have a crunch to them. But I'm going to remove my bell peppers and onions, and I'm going to add in 1 jalapeno. I'm just going to move it around, and it's done. I'm going to take it out. Next, I'm going to add some more oil, and I'm going to add in my beef. And don't be afraid of the pan. It is black, but it has flavor. So your food will not taste burnt. This food did not taste burnt. It just gives the food flavor. So I added in my beef, and then I cooked my beef until it was done. I'm just going to continue to stir it. And I'm just going to start removing my beef from my pan. Now it's time to cook the chicken. I'm just going to add the chicken in. I just sliced my chicken, and I'm just going to cook it until it's done. I'm just going to flip it to the other side so that it can cook. And I'm going to just keep an eye on it, making sure my meat doesn't burn. Now I'm going to remove the chicken because it's done. And I'm just going to slice the chicken up. So now it's time to cook the shrimp. I'm just going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter to my pan. And I'm going to let that melt. And I'm going to add in all of my shrimp. And I'm just going to cook it until it like turns pink. You have to be careful when cooking your shrimp. You cannot cook shrimp for too long. If you do, it becomes like rubbery and not good. So you do not want to overcook your shrimp. They cook in like 2 to 3 minutes, or until your shrimp turns pink. Then it's done. I'm just going to cook my shrimp until it's fully cooked, and then I'm going to start fixing the fajitas. So I'm just going to plate some steak. I'm going to add my bell peppers and onions, my chicken. I'm just going to add everything onto the plate. I'm also going to be serving this with some cilantro lime rice. And I also made some black beans. I'm also going to put that on the plate too. And I'm going to add some queso and some pico de gallo, some homemade pico de gallo, along with some crema, Mexican crema. And this is how I made my steak, chicken, shrimp, surf and turf fajitas. I hope you guys try this recipe. I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to me. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Adios! I'm going to show you guys how I made my delicious carne asada loaded potatoes. First, I'm going to preheat my oven to 420. And next, I'm just going to add some olive oil and salt onto my potato. I'm going to start poking holes in my potato because it helps the potato cook better. I'm just going to poke holes all around the potato. And I'm just going to rub the oil and the salt on the potato. And once I'm done, I'm just going to wrap up my potato and continue to do the rest of the potatoes. I'm just going to do the same thing I did to my other potato. I added olive oil and salt, and then I poked holes in it. I'm going to wrap my potato up in foil, and then I'm going to place them in the oven to cook for an hour and a half to 2 hours, or until my potatoes are soft. Once I'm done with all of my potatoes, I'm just going to add them all into my pan, as you see me doing here. And I had 9 of these potatoes. I'm just going to place them in the oven and let them cook. I'm going to start marinating my carne asada. So I'm going to add some olive oil. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of Mexican oregano. I'm going to add 2 garlic cloves and 1 small bunch of cilantro chopped. And then we're going to add the juice of 1 lime. I'm just going to squeeze it onto my meat. And once I'm done, I'm just going to give my meat a good mix. And I ended up adding a little bit more olive oil because I wanted my meat to be moist, and I needed the seasoning to stick to my meat. So I added some more olive oil, and then I just mixed it. I'm just going to continue to mix my meat until the seasoning is covering all of the meat. After I mix my meat, I'm just going to add some plastic wrap and let it marinate for about 40 minutes. Once my potatoes are done, I'm going to remove the foil, and I'm going to make a split down the middle of the potato. And I'm just going to start by removing the potato from the I'm just going to remove the filling from the potato. And I'm just going to do that to all 9 of my potatoes. Yeah, I'm just going to cut it open and then squeeze it from the sides a little bit. I'm just going to repeat the process with the rest of my potatoes. Once I cut all of my potatoes down the middle, I'm going to start removing the potato from the skin, or the filling from the potato. I'm just going to start adding the filling into my bowl. Comment down below if you guys are hosting an event and you need me to cater to your event. Just kidding. Anyway, I'm just going to continue to add the filling from the rest of my potatoes. I'm going to add in a half a block of cream cheese, or maybe a whole block. I'm going to add in 3 heaping spoons of sour cream. I'm going to add in a handful of mozzarella cheese, and I'm going to add 1 whole stick of butter. I'm also going to add some salt and pepper to taste. Be careful with the salt, guys. You don't want to add too much and make your potatoes salty, because you already have the meat and the cheese, so you don't want to add too much salt. I'm just going to give it a mix, and then I'm going to get my hand mixer out to really mix the potatoes and make it really creamy. So I'm just going to turn on my mixer and begin to mix. And trust me, all the butter is going to melt because the potatoes are still hot. I'm just going to mix everything in, including the butter. And the butter is going to melt while I'm mixing. As you see here, I'm almost done mixing, but it's not as smooth as I want it to be. So I'm just going to continue to mix my potatoes. I tasted my potatoes, and I ended up adding about 2 tablespoons of butter and some more salt. And I gave it another little mix, and I was done mixing my potatoes. I'm just going to stir it with a spoon. Now it's time to fill the potatoes. I'm just going to add the filling into my potatoes, and once I'm done, I'm going to top it off with some mozzarella cheese, but I'm not done yet. So after I'm done filling all of my potatoes, I'm going to begin to cook my carne asada. So I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil to my pan, and I'm going to cook my carne asada until it's done. And while I was cooking this carne, the whole house smelled so good, and it was just, this meat was so delicious and full of flavors. You guys have to try this. But I'm just going to mix my meat until it's done. And once it's done, it looks like this. So I'm going to remove it from my pan and I'm going to add it to my glass bowl, so that it's easier for me to fill my potatoes. But once I'm done, I'm going to top my potatoes off with carne asada. And I'm going to do that to all of my potatoes. And I'm going to top my potatoes off with some mozzarella cheese. You can add as much or as little cheese as you want. And I'm just going to place them in the oven so that the cheese melts. And once the cheese is melted, I'm going to put my carne asada loaded potato on a plate. I'm going to add some pico de gallo, and some guacamole. And this is how I made my delicious carne asada loaded potatoes. These potatoes were so delicious. I got so much good feedback on how good these potatoes were. Hope you guys try this recipe. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Adios. I'm going to be showing you guys how I made my delicious macaroni and cheese, and it came out so creamy and cheesy. To my boiling water, I'm going to add 2 pounds of elbow pasta to the water, and I'm just going to give it a stir. For the ingredients, we're going to need 1 block of cream cheese, 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I'm also going to be using salt and pepper to taste, 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And you can adjust the seasonings if needed. I'm also going to be adding 4 tablespoons of salted butter. I'm also going to be adding 3 cups of mozzarella cheese and 2 cups of Colby Jack. I'm also going to be adding 1 pint of heavy whipping cream, or 8 ounces. To my pot, I'm going to melt my butter fully, and I'm just going to slowly whisk in my flour, making sure not to create any lumps. I'm going to whisk this for about 1 minute to make sure that the flour is cooked. Next, I'm going to slowly pour in my heavy whipping cream as I whisk, preventing any lumps. And I'm just going to slowly add in my heavy whipping cream. And I just have my my eye on medium to low heat. You do not want to put your eye on high heat, because it'll just mess the process up and mess your cheese sauce up. So I'm just going to add the remaining heavy cream into the pot, and once I do that, I'm going to mix it for about a minute, and then I'm going to go in and add my cream cheese, and I'm just going to whisk that until there's no more lumps in the sauce. I'm just going to make sure it's smooth. And I'm not going to be using all of the cheese that I have. So I'm going to start by gradually adding in my cheese. I suggest you guys add your cheese in smaller amounts than I did. But I'm just going to add my cheese. And I'm just going to mix it. And I'm going to mix this and then add in some more cheese. You kind of want your cheese sauce like this consistency, but I ended up adding more cheese in which I had to add more milk in. But yeah, that's why I didn't use all the cheese, so I ended up having to add more milk. But yeah, you guys just follow my recipe, the ingredients, and you'll be good. So I'm just going to mix this cheese in. And as you see here, I added in some more milk, but this time I just used whole milk to thin the sauce out just a little bit. But you guys can just do 2 cups of mozzarella cheese, or 8 ounces of mozzarella cheese and 8 ounces of Kobe Jack cheese. So add about like 2 cups of mozzarella and 1 cup of Kobe Jack. Just add your cheese in slowly, and you should know what consistency your sauce should be because I just showed you guys. But I'm going to add in my seasonings. And if you guys need any more seasonings, you can definitely add some more. But I'm just going to pour the sauce over my noodles. And I'm just going to gradually add it into my noodles. And I ended up taking some of the pasta out. And yeah, I'm just going to mix it, and then I'm going to gradually add in a little bit more pasta, but I'm not going to use all of it. So as you can see, I almost used all of the pasta. But yeah, I'm just going to pour over some more cheese sauce and then give it another mix. But this macaroni and cheese is so delicious, and it's very creamy and cheesy, and it's perfect for any event and any holiday like Christmas and Thanksgiving. I'm just going to add in the remaining cheese sauce and give my pasta a mix. And this still made a lot of pasta. I'm just going to add a splash of milk. But yeah, it made a lot of pasta. You can feed like a lot of people from this macaroni and cheese. But I'm just going to add my macaroni and cheese to my pot. I just added some oil or butter to the bottom and around my pot so that my noodles wouldn't stick. But I'm just going to add everything into this baking dish that I will be baking my macaroni and cheese in. And then here I shredded some more cheese, and I'm going to add it over top. But you guys should have some remaining cheese left. But I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. I'm going to preheat my oven to 400 degrees, and I'm going to bake my macaroni and cheese for 20 minutes. I removed the top off of my macaroni and cheese when it had 4 minutes remaining. And after that, I placed my macaroni and cheese on broil for about a minute. And this is how my creamy, delicious macaroni and cheese came out. Make sure you guys subscribe and like this video. I hope you guys try this recipe. Adios!